Remember who we are. We're the United States of America. And there's nothing beyond our capacity when we do it together. God bless you all, and may God protect our troops. We can get this done. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I mean it. Thank you. Now, as some of you know, I'd usually come down and say hi to all of you. They tell me there's a storm coming in. Is that right? Is that still the deal? That's the truth. Now, don't make a lie. As that scene in the John Wayne movie, don't make me a dog-faced lion pony soldier. All right, well, I tell you what. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to ask the White House photographer to come up. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to stand. I usually shake everybody's hand. But I'm going to stand in front of each section. No, I really mean it. And if you can see the camera, they can see you. And it's the least consequential part of this whole meeting for you. I promise. All right? God save the Queen, man.
Welcome, everyone, to the Best Damn Podcast. I'm your host, John Keane. As always, I would like to thank you guys for joining me. Make sure you follow us, Instagram, Facebook, at the Best Damn Podcast, at Best Damn Podcast, Twitter, The Real Best Damn. If you don't see the blue check, it's not us. Make sure you join us over on Patreon. You can donate and support to the channel. All the links are in the description box down below. Today is a lie called reality. If we're examining reality, right, and we're being any bit objective here about the things that kind of go on now, I think it's really fair to say that most of what people perceive to be reality is, in fact, a lie. What a lot of us have just taken as fact because it comes from, the scientific community, or it comes from the medical community, or it comes from the government. We just take it as truth on face value, and and I feel like it's that kind of lazy thinking, that's gotten us into the position we're in now, where you see humanity just kind of like scrambling to kind of snap out of the slumber that they've allowed themselves to fall into. And it's like we're trying to speak up after we've allowed freedom of speech to be taken away. We're trying to defend our right to privacy after we've allowed them to force our medical information to become public. Like we're now willing to fight for our jobs, the monetary system, after they've raised the interest rates like 8 fucking times and have created this inflation that I don't think any of us kind of ever anticipated seeing in our lifetime. It's like we've waited until all the surveillance systems, the police state, all of this is in place to like kind of want to kick and scream. When there was a lot of people, telling the population as these things were being rolled out, and it happened it was incremental, piece by piece, bit by bit, law by law, crisis by crisis. And this is like one of the things I really like about this channel. I feel like even though we do look at a lot of mainstream news and, I don't know if I'd call it mainstream, but we look at a lot of news, it's like this is where psyops go to die, where we can kind of dissect, the psychological warfare that's being ran on all of us. It's always trying to push our opinion, push our perception, in a particular direction. And you can guarantee it's always serving, somebody, whether that's a corporation, a political party, the government, So we're going to go ahead and start taking a look here. We're going to jump into so much. There's a lot coming out now about, COVID and Wuhan and all of that. And I have my opinions about those things. I'll go ahead and preface this entire video by saying I'm not a medical professional. This isn't legal counsel, financial advice, any of those things, period. This is just a regular guy looking into the things that I see and giving you, my take, my perspective on this. And speaking of inflation, here we go. Soon, us useless eaters won't be eating, and we will be happy. It's not funny, but it kind of is. It's like you'll own nothing and you'll be happy. It's like now it's like you'll eat nothing and you'll be happy. Olive oil is up 46.9%. Cheese, 33.4%. Eggs, 28.8%. Low-fat milk, 28.5%. Pasta and couscous, 28.5%. Flours and cereal, 23.6%. Jams and honey, 22.9%. Fish, 16.6%. Bread, 15.3%. Butter, 14.1%. And fruit, 11.2%. Don't tell us inflation is 8.7%. For ordinary people, it's over 20% and out of control. And I think a lot of us actually could speak to this. It's really insane the amount of money like I spend at the grocery. I know probably a lot of you spend at the grocery, and we watched things continue to climb. It's so costly just to eat, and it's like they give us these numbers in the media like, hey, yeah, inflation's only 8.7%. It's like, no, actually, when you do the math and you look at how it's affecting the normal everyday person, it's up over 20%. Here we go, and this is really nice. Former Congressman Kinzinger accidentally admits Patriot Front members are federal agents, and it's like, this is something a lot of us already knew, that they were sending federal agents out there acting like far-right fucking extremists and whatnot, just the same that they've done with Antifa and shit for the left. Let me go ahead and give you guys some audio here. And sorry I did this one so late, but I just kind of wanted to get it out there. You know what I mean? I've been putting it off for a few days. You guys can check out the live tarot reading I did earlier. Also, I've been posting over on TikTok and Instagram. And we're doing the multi-stream again, so this is going out on multiple YouTube channels, multiple Facebook channels, Twitter, all that good stuff. So we're going to try to reach some people, I guess, and we're going to try to crank some truth out there. I mean, if you look around right now, there's no time like the present, right? There's no time like the present to really counteract all these different narratives that are being pushed on all of us and give people another option, right? The ability to kind of look at what's going on objectively and, form their own opinion about the state of affairs in the world and, shit like this, and then they won't be buying into all of this and buying into the division of the left-right paradigm. We all know, politics, is bullshit. Organized religion is bullshit, right? These are just different forms of indoctrination to get you into this divide and conquer system. This is Memology 101. They're a huge channel. Love their stuff, actually, even though it's far right. Do you remember Patriot Front? They are a group of right-wing white men who are totally not just feds in disguise. This is so crazy. Somehow, they always get better treatment than other right-wing groups. Patriot Front members free on bail after arrest at Idaho LGBTQ event. Weird, right? Well, recently things got even more sus than usual. As a group of Proud Boys were doing a demonstration, Patriot Front tried to infiltrate it. The Proud Boys didn't like that one bit, and so they stopped Patriot Front in their tracks.
Bruh.
Bruh.
Get the fuck out.
Go! You too! Hold on, go!
Get the bruh.
Bruh.
Be gone, bitch!
Be gone, bitch. Moments after the encounter went viral on Twitter, something hilarious happened. These people, all blue checks, are celebrating a seemingly MAGA assault on federal officers. Now I don't know what this really is, but take a gander at the comments of the patriots who love America. Adam, dude, you are not supposed to say the quiet part out loud. Laughed my ass off. With one tweet, the idiot just destroyed an entire federal operation. Oh my god. Oh shit. I love Memeology 101. Honestly, I really do. It's such a great channel. They laugh at the shit that the media puts out, and it's fucking hilarious. Like you guys remember the Biden hologram where his hand was going through the microphone, meaning he wasn't really there, and they were like filming it, acting like he was kicking it at the White House and talking out in the front lawn. It's just wild shit, man. That's what I mean. The lie called reality, you know? We're convinced of all of this nonsense. It's like, how many people are gassed the fuck up over right-wing extremists and white supremacists? Right? They have no goddamn clue that they've never actually seen a real group of white supremacists. Everybody that they've seen on television or on the internet has been a psyop. Has been government fucking agents, government officials. You know, doing staged events with crisis actors to bring the mainstream media in and to paint a narrative, to create division amongst the left and the right, you know, and to demonize, you know, a particular group. You know, it's creating class warfare. I mean, you can break it down a million ways. Like, that's why you see, like, all the extra attention being given to specialized groups. You know, it's like attack a majority, demonize a majority, and then give all the specialized groups more privileges, more rights, special treatment to make everybody want to be a part of those specialized groups. And this is like, you know, and this is going into depopulation. You know, there's a reason that they're promoting the LGBTQ and all that so much. And it's not because they love those groups of people, which is fucked up, you know. It's like to use a group of people for an agenda, you know, but the agenda is so we won't reproduce, you know. That's why they push that. That's why they push the trans agenda. It sterilizes you, you know. It sterilizes you. And if you do it while you're a child, you know, you'll never reproduce. Same thing with the GMOs and jabs and all of it. You know, that's what it all really boils down to. You know. And these schools of thought that they have you buying into are detrimental, you know, to your mind, to your life, to your way of thinking, your way of perceiving the world. Federal agents unmasked posing as Nazis after altercation with protesters. Identities, please. You see what I mean? Yeah. It's fucking crazy. I mean, the high-level Nazis who weren't invited to the USA had to end up somewhere. Nazi smuggling submarine found in Argentina causes international stir. See what I mean? It's like there is an agenda. You know, there is an agenda. And I gotta say too, the last few days I've actually kind of like been on TikTok, and I see a lot of people catching on to the anti-white agenda that's being put out there, and I think it's pretty wild to see like just how, you know, it's like just a few short years ago a lot of people were still buying into all this shit. It's like people now after COVID, it's like having the ultimate okie doke pulled on them, and them kind of everybody just kind of now like seeing, you know, everything for what it is. It's like you see a raised or a heightened level of awareness now to bullshit, you know, and a lot of people are more willing to speak out now and expose now than ever before, you know. And I think that's probably one of the things that the powers that be hate more than anything. It's like seeing us come together like that or stand up for each other like that, you know. Knowledge is power, you know, and the more knowledgeable we are about what's taking place and the way that things function, the way that things work, you know, the more we have control or the ability to influence the outcome of things. Now, the whole premise of COVID vaccine mandates was that everyone needed to be vaccinated because that would stop the spread of the virus. But it turns out that the CDC knew from the very beginning that the blanks didn't prevent transmission, so there was no need for mandates at all. The CDC lies and is lying and will continue for a long time. Hopefully I don't get in trouble for saying this. Like I said, this is not medical medical advice or anything like that. This is not my opinion. I am quoting from a news article, and you can look up on whether or not it's a reputable source.
There's been new release of emails that let us know that when the CDC director said this,
our data from the CDC today suggests, that vaccinated people do not carry the virus, don't get sick, and that it's not just in the clinical trials, but it's also in real world data.
So when she said that, she was lying. She wasn't getting it wrong. She was lying. That's what she looks like when she's lying. She's a liar and a criminal, and she should be in jail just like Fauci and Collins and the rest of those people.
Oh, shit. He's like, that's what she looks like when she's lying. She's a criminal. Yeah. Let me put this in the chat somewhere for you guys, or try to put it in the chat somewhere for you guys. Oh, sorry about that. It's like, this is what she looks like when she's lying, because she's lying. Oh, man. Yes, the process called shedding. Yeah, I've covered that. If you go check out my videos on BitChute, you will actually see some of what I covered on that as well. So, yeah. U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo. I was a CIA director. We lied, we cheated, we stole. We had entire training courses. It reminds you of the glory of the American experiment.
When I was a cadet, what's the cadet motto at West Point? You will not lie, cheat, or steal, or tolerate those who do. I was the CIA director. We lied, we cheated, we stole. It was like we had entire training courses. It reminds you of the glory of the American experiment.
The glory of the American experiment. Yeah. And if you're watching in the chat, make sure to hit the thumbs up wherever you're watching from. I appreciate that. Monsanto getting sued all the time. Unfortunately, they keep winning. Vermont sued Monsanto over PCB contamination. And we're gonna go over here too. I've got a document too for the COVID shit. We're gonna see what's up with that. There's been a lot come out recently pertaining to that. So we're gonna go to that in just a second. Alright, let's go ahead and move over here. Now this just came out. This is a PDF declassified, as you can see. This is Office of the Director of National Intelligence. It's the potential links between the Wuhan Institute of Virology and the origin of COVID-19 pandemic. Now, there's recently been, releases about this, basically saying that there's, lab leaks and all this stuff from Wuhan. If you want my honest to God opinion about this, I will read a little bit of this just because it's something that's come out and it's supposed to be big news, air quotes. I believe that this is part of a psychological warfare operation. Put it this way, I doubt the validity of C-19 as a whole. I don't know, in order to prove that a virus exists, it has to be isolated, and that never happened. So, in my mind, I don't know if this is something that was ever even real whatsoever. And I feel like when you tell a lie enough times, it becomes a truth. And it's become this accepted truth. And now, because there's this agenda to go at China in particular, right? And Russia. But because of the geopolitical landscape, it's advantageous of the United States to kind of come out with something just really blaming it all on them, And we've seen Trump push this as well. The executive summary, this report responds to the COVID-19 Origin Act of 2023, which called for the U.S. intelligence community to declassify information relating to potential links between the Wuhan Institute of Virology and the origin of the COVID-19 pandemic. The report outlined the IC's understanding of the WIV, its capabilities, and the actions of the personnel leading up to and in the early days of the COVID-19 pandemic. This report does not address the merits of the two most likely pandemic origins hypothesis, nor does it explore other biological facilities in Wuhan other than the WIV. A classified annex to this report includes information that was necessary to exclude from the unclassified portion of the report in order to protect source and methods, but the information contained in this annex is consistent with the unclassified assessments contained in this report. This report was drafted by the National Intelligence Officer for Weapons of Mass Destruction and Proliferation and coordinated with the IC. Think about that. Weapons of mass destruction. Weapons of mass destruction. And then go on and like I said, I told you what I think about this. They talk about it in March. The core intelligence related to the COVID-19, whether the first human infection with SARS-CoV-2, the virus that causes COVID-19, was a result of natural exposure to an infected animal or variations, basically from a lab leak, And they try to paint this picture here, and in essence, give you this, this reason of why all of this happened, all of this went down. Like I said, shifting the blame kind of over to China. But in the same token, it doesn't change, the original, scenario that we dealt with all of that. It's like they can put out this horse and pony show about where it came from and all that, and like gas us up, acting like they're throwing us a bone, when the truth is the redacted parts probably said all of it was fake. You know what I mean? The part that they weren't able to show you because of national security probably said it was all bullshit or something, It's like they can feed us whatever information they want to, Those who were paying attention, it doesn't change any of what actually happened. Federal court halts Florida's drag ban, calling it attempt to suppress the speech rights of performers. Injunction marks the third time this month Florida Governor Ron DeSantis has lost in court on signature policies. Federal court temporarily halted Florida's controversial restrictions on drag performances, warning the law was overbroad and could risk infringing on free speech rights. SB 1438 law, signed in May by Republican Governor Ron DeSantis, is dangerously susceptible to standardless, overbroad enforcement which could sweep up substantial protected speech, U.S. Judge Gregory Presno wrote in his ruling. Far from a neutral attempt to protect children, as its backers have sometimes claimed, the law is an admitted attempt to specifically suppress the speech of drag queen performers. So, yeah. I feel like I don't know enough about this law to really get into it and talk about it and tell you, it's constitutional to prevent the sexualization of children by limiting access to adult live performances. Most of you guys that's ever watched any of this stuff, you already know how I feel about it. It's like I feel like the sexualizing of children is wrong, period. But also, so is trying to stop. I feel like it shouldn't be in front of children. But if people want to do their thing, they should be allowed to do their thing. Just they shouldn't be doing it in front of kids, right? So, that's where I'm at with all that. So, This has gone well beyond a joke now. After we have plans to build a railroad from the Pacific all the way across the Indian Ocean, President Joe Biden says, God save the Queen, and out of nowhere at the end of a gun control speech.
Remember who we are. We're the United States of America. And there's nothing beyond our capacity when we do it together. God bless you all, and may God protect our troops. We can get this done. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I mean it. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you.
Now, as some of you know, I'd usually come down and say hi to all of you. They'd tell me there's a storm coming in. Is that right? Is that still the deal? That's the truth. Now, don't make a lie. As that scene in the John Wayne movie, don't make me a dog-faced lion pony soldier. All right, well, I tell you what. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to ask the White House photographer to come up. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to stand. I usually shake everybody's hand. But I'm going to stand in front of each section. No, I really mean it. And if you can see the camera, they can see you. And it's the least consequential part of this whole meeting for you. I promise. All right? God save the Queen, man.
God save the Queen, man. It's so fucking crazy. Oh my gosh. Massive military movements being reported in multiple states across the U.S. Let's see if we can bring this up. I've got it somewhere else also. Right here. Massive military movements being reported in multiple states across the U.S. Why all this sudden military activity on U.S. soil? Are these drills all taking place almost at the same time across multiple states around the U.S.? Or is it something bigger taking place? Let's take a look. Hello, Philly. Oh, but I'm a conspiracy theorist who has done nothing but show the world a blueprint via military laws, regulations, acts, statutes, codes of continuity of government and military occupancy. Vindication is on the way. Hashtag storm brewing. Holy shit. They have... You guys see this? Look, Derek Bro's tweet is in this article. How about that? He's the willing witness now, but they've got his tweet in this article. That's really cool. That's probably why he's jumped up so many fucking followers. Breaking news. Tank group on the highway in Idaho falls today. Hey, if you haven't, go subscribe to the artist formerly known as Global Witness or Willing Witness. That's really cool. I'm happy for him. Nice catch, Derek. Oh man, the Idaho Army National Guard, 1st of the 148th Field Artillery Regiment, moved tracked vehicles along state roads from Idaho Falls. How about this? Got more pictures here. Military, South Carolina, New York, Arizona to California. Wow. Look at that, guys. Bakersfield, California. Damn, son. That is a lot of states right there. Honestly, that's a lot of states that you see in military movement. And look, here's Derek Bros again. I am not the only one tracking things. I cannot keep up with the messages and information. I cannot believe they've got how many of his tweets now in this article. That's crazy. No wonder he blew up on Twitter.
Breaking news, guys. There's three balloons up in the air right now. I don't know what these balloons are looking on. We also have about 4 jets in the air on the eastern side of U.S. And yeah, guys, this training of NATO, I believe, is going to be an invasion. You don't train something like this if you're not going to be prepared to do something, okay? You guys might want to take this as a joke, but me, I'm taking this fucking serious because, number one, this is my life, and number two, this war is not just going to be like, oh, the United States ain't going to get touched, Canada's not going to get touched. You guys don't know what's happening, man, so be prepared.
Damn, son. Pretty crazy. Pretty crazy. I think it's so crazy. Derek Bros is fucking in this article twice. I captured this video about a week ago in northern San Diego. They're trying to bring in Ukraine and Sweden into NATO as well. You know, it's like they're not fucking around, you know. You see what's going on in Taiwan. You see how involved so many other countries are with that as well. And then we look at, you know, Syria and Ukraine with Russia. We look at North Korea, Iran, both amping shit up as well. You know, the writing's on the wall. Like, if they're gonna pull the trigger, you know, on nuclear war, and there's been so much to come out about, you know, like new fighter jets, new hypersonic missiles, just everything. It's like upgrades of everything. You know, it's like if they're going to go with this, you know, scenario, which I feel like something will follow COVID, you know, something will. And it very well could be a world war. You know, and we're just keeping it, you know, I'm keeping it real here. You know, it's like if we don't see some type of economic crash, banks collapse, the currency, you know, collapse, then you can almost guarantee, you know, it's going to be like a world war, which is going to create fucking famines and all kinds of shit, man. It's fucking weird, man. You know, all these drills all taking place almost at the same time across multiple states around the U.S. or something bigger taking place. Anyone have more info? Yeah, so I would also be interested to see, you know, what's kind of going on with that. Honestly, big ups to Derek Bros too, you know, for getting in the article couple different places. I wonder if he knows that. Somebody should let him know. You know, if he doesn't know that, somebody should let him know. Oh, man. Catholic groups protest Dodgers Pride Night.
Sky Fox over just a huge protest as the Dodgers get ready for Pride Night. There has been a lot of controversy, of course, leading up to tonight's Dodgers Pride Night.
So the night is finally here. Gina Silva live outside the ballpark where the drag group, the Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence, are being honored. Gina.
Well, Marla, Alex, tonight is the 10th annual Pride Night, and I'm sure the Dodgers have never seen a turnout like this. Just take a look at this crowd. We are talking about 1,500 people. They are protesting not Pride Night itself, but the group that is being honored tonight, the controversial group known as the Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence. They will be receiving the Hero Community Award because...
Damn, and, you know, you see how divisive this particular topic is. You know, there's a reason they're pushing it. You know, they wore you out with the Trump shit. They're going to wear you out with this too. You know, they wore you out with the racism. They're going to wear you out with this too. Yeah. Judges ruled that the school ban on t-shirts saying there are only two genders. Freedom of speech is dying. I think I have that article. Hold on. Let me pull this up. Oh, I have it somewhere. Let's see if we can pull it up. Yeah. Progressive judge. School can ban t-shirt saying there are only two genders. The First Amendment has long been understood to protect messages on kids' t-shirts in school, as long as they weren't vulgar or likely to cause a disruption. For example, a federal appeals court ruled that a kid has a right to wear a t-shirt saying, "Be happy, not gay," but that was back in 2008, a less woke time, when judges were not as eager to sacrifice free speech rights at the altar of political correctness. Today, in LM versus Town of Middleborough, a federal judge in Massachusetts has ruled that a school can ban a student from wearing a t-shirt that says, "There are only two genders." Supposedly, this is because if the t-shirt is allowed, there's a risk that a group of potentially vulnerable students will not feel safe. Oh, shit. The decision is wrong. The t-shirt saying there are only two genders is milder and more non-threatening than "Be happy, not gay" t-shirt found to be protected by the First Amendment. This is crazy as fuck. This is crazy. You know, they're banning "there are only two genders" t-shirts. Oh my god. How did we get in this weird ass place? Like, I feel like we fucking, it's like the Twilight Zone. It's like, how the fuck did we get here? You know, when do we, like, make this turn? You know? Oh my gosh. Terrifying! Just imagine being inside that deep underwater. Here's how the vacuum implosion would have looked like. The Navy asked that the specific system used not be named, citing national security concerns. Probably SOSUS, or the modern equivalent, a secretive underwater acoustic system, detected the Titan's implosion days ago. And oh my god, that's the waiver that all the occupants of the Titan submersible had to sign. And I'm not going to go through the waiver, but you could only imagine, you know. It's got probably a lot about them fucking dying underwater in a vessel, you know. I'm just going out on a limb and guessing, right? Oh, man. How about this? JP Morgan accidentally deletes millions of Jeffrey Epstein and market manipulation emails. Testimony by IRS employee reveals Biden, IRS, and the DOJ interfered in tax investigation of Hunter Biden, revealing preferential treatment for wealthy and politically connected. Tell us something we don't know. Britain has seen an extra 100,000 heart attack and stroke deaths since the pandemic. British Heart Foundation claims. I wonder why. You know? New study suggests that lab-grown meat can produce up to 25 times more CO2. So, it's way worse to grow it in a lab, basically, for the environment. Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg agreed to hold a cage fight. Yeah, that's off already, so sorry I left that one in there. They already pushed out of that one. Twitter agrees to comply with tough EU disinformation laws, so that means Twitter will conform to censorship, right? We've seen this more times than once. YouTube, Article 13 in the EU, and all this. Block officials enter companies' headquarters to test its controls on issues such as Russian propaganda, right? So this is the EU laws on fake news. Twitter's going to comply. So you know what that means. Woman in Japan dies of Oz virus in world first, possibly tick-borne. If you think about like all the ticks, fleas, bed bugs, all these parasitic, things that are going around, and all the weird shit with mosquitoes after Bill Gates genetically modified some as well. All these parasitic animals and all the diseases are carrying. I wonder, if this will be like where the next thing comes from, is Earth's heartbeat of 7.83 hertz, influencing human behavior. Some scientists believe the lightning-produced frequencies may be connected to our brain waves, meditation, and hypnosis. And if that's true, then think about HAARP and using electromagnetic energy to heat up the ionosphere and create fluctuations in that magnetic field, and to insert energy in places in that earth to create a difference or a distortion in the way that it's vibrating. They could be influencing us in terrible ways if you think about it. Weird that this cholera outbreak only hit the Russian troops. No. Vladimir Putin's troops were recently ravaged by a suspected cholera outbreak following the destruction of a vital Ukrainian dam, RadarOnline.com has learned. In starting development to come days after the Kavka Dam in Russian-occupied Ukrainian city of Novokavka was ruptured in June 6, dozens of Putin soldiers were reportedly rushed to the hospital. I wonder if this is like PSYOP, biological war, I don't know. I really don't know. All this circus reminds me of Bill Clinton saying he didn't know fellations were considered sexual relations. So he didn't know getting head counted as sex. Yeah. Joe Biden's Justice Department is protecting Daddy's little angel from serving the maximum sentence. Hunter Biden is charged with 2 misdemeanor tax violations and illegal possession of a firearm. And let's see here. The parties jointly request that the court schedule a consolidated initial appearance on the firearm information and an initial appearance on change of plea hearing on the tax information charges. Original executed copies of the memorandum of plea agreement related to the tax information and the pretrial diversion agreement related to the firearm information will be submitted at or in advance of the hearing. How about that? The DOJ will throw a book at anyone else for the same crimes, but Daddy's little angel gets off with a slap on the wrist and a strongly worded letter, "Don't do it again." That's how the plea agreement hammered out by the Justice Department and the attorneys for Hunter Biden. They feel like the defendant will be forced to write 100 times on the chalkboard, "I will pay my taxes." He will also be required, under the plea agreement, to promise not to carry a gun on his person or in his vehicle unless he just has to carry it for protection when purchasing drugs from dangerous drug dealers. And if he violates this agreement, he will be given a stern verbal warning, and any second violation will result in a nasty written warning letter that will go on his permanent record. The Biden family has successfully destroyed the U.S. justice system and is laughing out loud. Whew. As in most of the developing world, it's safer to be the president's son than his opponent. Trump classified documents trial date set for August 14th. Yeah, I guess so. Well, I mean, if you look at the Clintons and shit, Hillary Clinton would have, decapitated you and your fucking teeth would have been pulled out of your skull. They wouldn't have been able to identify your ass if you fucked with them. So I guess, Biden putting you in jail and shit is not as bad. Trump classified documents trial date set for August 14th. Florida federal judge scheduled the criminal trial of former President Donald Trump for his alleged illegal retention of classified government documents to begin August 14th. But legal experts do not expect the trial to begin so early. Trump, who was seeking the 2024 Republican presidential nomination, was indicted this month on more than 36 criminal charges related to keeping hundreds of classified documents. Yay, yay. So, that's what happened. Reptilian beings emerged during CIA's interdimensional experiments. In 1958, radio broadcasting executive Robert Monroe suffered a series of bizarre events. At the age of 43, he began feeling a strong vibration deep within his chest. Suddenly, the sensation grew so intense that he was forced to lay down. Once reclined, the typically rational businessman found himself hovering outside of his body. He immediately panicked, thinking he had died, but the crippling fear abruptly returned to his physical form. Similar episodes soon followed in which he weightlessly floated around the room. A concerned Monroe visited several doctors and psychologists, yet each medical professional determined he was perfectly healthy. Relieved by their positive diagnosis, the telecommunication executive decided to hone his newly acquired skill. Before long, he left his comfortable corporate career and dedicated his life to the exploration of consciousness. For the next 3 decades, Robert intently studied out-of-body experiences. His primary goal was to gather scientific evidence proving the existence of alternate realities. In hopes of making cosmic travel more easily and attainable, he developed a technology called hemispheric synchronization, also known as HemiSync. This system utilizes audio patterns containing binaural beats to create harmonization of the brain's left and right hemispheres. Independent clinical neurologists conducted extensive testing on participants engaging in the experimental technique, and to their shock, the results were clearly visible on every EEG scan conducted. Both sides of the brain simultaneously measured equal in both amplitude and frequency. Monroe's work was pioneering the path to tangible altered states. Now, closely monitoring the Astral Explorer's groundbreaking findings was the U.S. government. One day in 1978, representatives from the CIA contacted Monroe. High-ranking officials invited him to join a highly classified military project. They wanted to implement his mind-expanding practice in attempts of sending soldiers into deep remote viewing sessions. Should subordinates succeed, America would have a huge advantage over Soviet enemies. Troops could be catapulted into the past, present, and future timelines, or even the multiverse. Given Robert's extensive background in various patented applications, he was a perfect choice for this trailblazing operation. Hoping to obtain further credibility in the study of paranormal phenomena, Robert agreed to join them. Since those involved were opening portals to other dimensions, researchers aptly named the assignment the Gateway Process. According to declassified files, the program is a training system designed to bring enhanced strength, focus, and coherence to the amplitude and frequency of brainwave output between the left and right hemispheres so as to alter consciousness, moving it outside the physical sphere so as to ultimately escape even the restrictions of time and space. The participants then gained access to various levels of intuitive knowledge the universe offers. Discoveries listed in Commander Wayne M. McDonald's final analysis paper included detailed information about the nature of reality. Investigators ascertained we live in a holographic universe, and waking life is a projected electromagnetic matrix. To enter the unearthly realms, headphone-donning voyagers sat in isolated darkness while listening to various tones at specific hertz. Participants had no contact or communication with one another, and after their journey was finished, volunteers would report what they had experienced with staff members. According to Robert, subjects would also often encounter interdimensional entities. Most frequently witnessed were reptilian humanoids. Viewers referred to the uncanny creatures as the alligators due to their crocodilian features. Curiously, Monroe was already quite familiar with the unsettling breed. During countless expeditions, he observed identical saurian creatures for over 35 years. The etheric investigator gathered insight about these startling beings. Here is what he uncovered. The nefarious vertebrates have controlled and enslaved humanity for millennia. They exist and operate in the fourth dimension and are only visible to individuals who can see beyond our extremely limited spectrum of visible light. Reptilians feed off our spiritual life force, which Monroe called loosh. Negative, low vibrational energy is essential to their survival. These parasitic entities see Earth as a massive farm where they harvest human fear, hatred, anxiety, anger, and depression. Their intelligence is equal or superior to human beings. The elusive lizard-like race sees itself as rulers of humankind. Wow. I know a lot of people who watch this channel are, into a lot of shit like this, so Might as well drop this one out there for you guys. You see your ancient civilization named Ant People saved the Native Americans from world apocalypse twice. There's so much fucking UFO alien shit in the news now. It's crazy. The Hopi Indians are a Native American tribe that's been living in Arizona for thousands of years. The place is famous for the Grand Canyon, a beautiful desert area. According to the Hopi legends, the gods directed them there and built stone apartment complexes. From the ancient Hopi, there are several stone complexes, the so-called Pueblo, near their houses. The Hopi grew corn, beans, and pumpkins on the dry, rocky ground. The Hopi language is similar to the Aztec language. And, a lot of people believe, the Aztecs are actually, like when we think of like the Mayans and stuff, we're actually, referring to the Aztecs. So, just saying, putting it out there. Very similar culture. And among the researchers of anomalous phenomena, the Hopi are known primarily for their stone tablets, which supposedly contain predictions for the future. However, there are many interesting things in the Hopi culture besides these tablets. The most important interpretation of the word Hopi is one who behaves appropriately, one who is mannered, civilized, peaceful, and polite, and conforms to the Hopi way. This is in contrast to other warring tribes that live off pillage, according to some reports. According to the Hopi folklore, the Spider Woman bestowed the three sisters with gifts and instructed them with farming techniques. In addition to that, she instructed them in weaving and pottery making. According to the Hopi, we have only recently entered into the fifth world. It was she who was responsible for bringing those who were bad into the third world, into the fourth world. In exchange for being allowed to reside there, the Hopi decided to take on the role of caretaker. The Hopi way emphasizes harmony in all aspects of life by preserving a balance between humans and the natural world. Their ritualized celebrations of the equilibrium serve to ensure that their way of life will continue into the future. According to the mythology, the earth was created by the Spider Woman who ruled the underworld, and her consort Tawa, who was a sun god, ruled the sky. Together they utilized their thoughts to bring the world into being. Then Spider Woman brought the clay creatures and humans to life by giving the form of humans and animals, covering them with a blanket she had woven herself, and singing to them with Tawa. One of the most intriguing legends is about ant people who saved the Hopi during a fire, volcanic eruption, asteroid strike, ice age, or a strong coronal ejection from the sun. During these two devastating events, the ant people civilization hid the Hopi people in their underground caves and provided them with food and water. These legends portray the ant people as generous and hardworking, who also taught the Hopi the secrets of storing food for a long time without spoiling. Very interesting. Very interesting. And some people translate, Anunnaki into, ant friend or whatever. So, but others, of the sky or whatever. So, just depends on, what you're looking at here. Premier of Quebec shows his loyalty to the devil and flashes the 666 hand signal. Another Canadian politician, Premier of Quebec, flashing hand signs. Oh shit, look, he's dropping it. Yeah.
Alors bonjour toutes et à tous, bienvenue à cette conférence de presse du Premier ministre du Québec François Legault, du ministre de la Santé et des Services sociaux Christian Dubé et du... Bienvenue à cette conférence de presse du Premier ministre du Québec François Legault.
Wow, that's crazy. That's crazy. He ain't even hiding it. He's just throwing it up. Damn, son. To each their own, right? drunk man jumps into a lion's cage at a Delhi zoo. Oh my god, you don't get killed? That's crazy. Elon Musk is an alien, and Zuckerberg is an AI android. Their fight is actually a fight between AI and aliens to decide who will be the human overlord for the next 1,000 years. I wish they actually would fight, seriously. For real, for real. Oh, man. Biden has been accused of delaying the declassification of U.S. intelligence on the origins of COVID as the deadline passed, and that's what we looked at a little bit earlier. Yeah. PBS Frontline documentary investigates women being trafficked from Ukraine to Turkey. Presents a hidden camera look at the world of sexual slavery, talking with traffickers, victims, and exposing government indifference that allows this to continue.
These women have been torn from their lives, taken from their families, and sold into slavery. They are victims of a multi-billion-dollar international business that traffics hundreds of thousands of women a year. Tonight, Frontline takes a hidden camera look deep inside the new global sex trade.
Our girls are in high demand since they're quite pretty and easily accessible. It's a very profitable business.
Frontline also follows one man who's determined to get his wife back before she's lost for good to the world of the traffickers. It's an extraordinary journey that raises tough questions about governments around the world, largely indifferent to the traffickers' abuses.
I hadn't encountered much evil in my life. I thought I'd find at least one kind person, or that one of those pimps would set me free.
Wife back, you already know, like, that's, motherfuckers will do some crazy shit over women, you know what I mean? Like, a motherfucker will wear a wire, he'll go, you know, he might get blown up or killed or shot in the fucking head, he don't even care, you know what I mean? He's like, I don't care, I'm getting her back, she's mine, you know. Oh no. I mean, thank you, Eric E. Buelli. I see the donation there. Appreciate that, homie. Good looking. God, I feel like I've done some stupid shit over women too. I've never wore a wire and tried to take down an international sex trafficking ring for a girl. But you never know, like, you know. You never know. So I mean, I probably would, right? I would probably try if my lover was, you know, tricking in Ukraine, you know. I mean, it could happen. It really could, you know. Stranger things have happened. Don't judge me. Don't judge me. Anyways, moving forward. Oh man. Moving forward. Past the reptilians and the ant people now. How long have we been going here? The Gateway Project here. Only an hour? That's not that long. It's not that long at all. If you're watching on Facebook, make sure to hit that thumbs up and like comment and shit. That's actually what helps it get pushed on Facebook. It's like the more you comment and interact. Also, make sure to you know hit the like and all that, or share it. I appreciate that. Anybody that's watching on Facebook, and if you're watching on YouTube, make sure to hit the thumbs up as well. Twitter. Tweet it, retweet it, whatever. I do have the chat box back up now, so This is the assessment of the Gateway experience. I don't want to read the whole thing, but I do want to read something out of it. Paradoxically, having gone to such great lengths to avoid trying to render judgments based on an occult or dogmatic frame of reference, in the end I found it necessary to return, at least briefly, to the question of the impact of the Gateway experience on common belief systems. I did so because although it was essential to avoid attempting to render an assessment in the context of such systems, I felt that it was necessary after having completed the analysis to point out that the resulting conclusions do not do any violence to the fundamental mainstream of either Eastern or Western belief systems. Unless that point is clearly established, the danger exists that some people will reject the whole concept of the Gateway experience in the mistaken belief that it contradicts and is therefore alien to all that they hold to be right and true. Interesting. Alien. My son loves this fucking guy. I don't see why. I mean, a lot of people like this douchebag. Andrew Tate. He looks like a rapist in this picture, don't he? Look at him. He looks like he drives a white van in this picture. Who the fuck is this? Is this his brother? Okay. Andrew Tate charged with rape and human trafficking. He's teaching people how to bust out the matrix. Tate's been charged in Romania with rape, human trafficking, and forming an organized crime group to sexually exploit women. His brother Tristan and 2 associates also face charges. All have denied the allegations. The Tate brothers appeared in court for the first time on Wednesday. As he left court, Andrew Tate said, "I love this country, and I look forward to being found innocent." The brothers were first arrested at their Bucharest home in December before being moved to house arrest in March. The indictment deposited with the Bucharest court says the 4 defendants formed an organized criminal group in 2021 to commit human trafficking in Romania, but also in other countries, including the U.S. and the U.K. It names 7 alleged victims who it says were recruited by the Tate brothers through false promises of love and marriage. Yeah, fucking right. The alleged victims were later taken to buildings in Ilfov County in Romania, where they were intimidated, placed under constant surveillance and control, and forced into debt, according to a statement from Romanian prosecutors. The defendants allegedly then forced the women to take part in pornography, which was later shared on social media. One defendant is accused of raping a woman twice in March 2022. The statement adds, the trial will not start immediately and is expected to take several years. A Romanian judge now has 60 days to inspect the case files before it can be sent to trial. The media team for the Tate brothers said, while the news is undoubtedly predictable, we embrace the opportunity it presents to demonstrate their innocence and vindicate their reputation. It added that the indictment allows us to present a comprehensive body of evidence diligently collected and prepared over time, which will undoubtedly substantiate the brothers' claims of innocence. There are also separate charges still under investigation, which could lead to a separate indictment, including money laundering and trafficking of minors. In 2016, Andrew Tate, the British-American former kickboxer, was removed from British TV show Big Brother over a video which appeared to show him attacking a woman. Yeah, dude. I don't fuck with the Tates, man. You know, I don't buy into any of their shit. Like, all their pictures of them, like, smoking cigars and shit. Yeah. His 33 cars and shit when he was, when he got arrested. You know, he had the pizza. You know, he had the pizza, and it had his address on it, and he put it in a tweet to, what's her name? Greta Thunberg, and he said, I have 33 cars. Like, it's just, it reeks of Masonic ritual. It reeks of, I feel like maybe he's like graduated to the 32nd degree or something. This is like his coming out party. It's so weird. It's like they get announced publicly, and it could be in a bad way like this, but this is gonna fucking make him so goddamn famous, and we all know he's not gonna go to jail. Documents link potential COVID patient zero to U.S. funded research in Wuhan. Yeah. We've already looked at those documents. That's what they're talking about. Universal basic income of £1,600 a month to be trialed in 2 places in England. Yay. Scheme to run for 2 years, and participants will be monitored to see what effect it has on mental and physical health. So the UBI coming to England. Amazon replaces human authors with AI. They launched a storyteller tool to automatically create books from user searches. This is a storyteller project, and they're using dozens of AI authors whose books have gone to the top of Amazon's sale charts. God damn. Disney's new $200 million Pixar film did a belly flop on opening weekend. How can this be? Since it features a non-binary character and talks about racism and xenophobia. People are so fed up with this shit. They're like, oh, we're not watching anything with this. Global network of sadistic monkey torture exposed by BBC. It's like, something tells me, like, this is so weird. The global monkey torture ring stretching from Indonesia to the United States is like, I feel like it's probably a cover for some like human trafficking or some weird shit like that, honestly. Like child torture or something. Leaked video appears to show Rishi Sunak mocking trans people. Oh my gosh. Politics pushing something you don't believe in. High-level hypocrisy. Leaked video appears to show Rishi Sunak mocking trans people.
Energy security. It shows his spectacular misjudgment and why he's completely unfit to lead our country. And at the same period of time, over the period, you may have noticed Ed Davey has been very busy. Like me, you were probably seeing that he was busy trying to convince everybody that women clearly had penises. And I was reflecting, you all know I am a big fan of everybody studying maths to 18. But it turns out that we need to focus on biology to 18.
Yeah. Well, whatever. I don't really give a shit. It's like the whole social justice thing. Honestly, both the EU and the U.S. Department of Homeland Security are working on decentralized digital identity wallets. The U.S. Department of Homeland Security is encouraging development of digital wallets that are privacy first and interoperable. They're specifically interested in technology that meshes with three-party digital identity model used by the World Wide Web Consortium and the verifiable credential data model, both key components of decentralized identity systems. Basically, they're looking for digital wallets and mobile verifiers, tools that check the authenticity of identities that can work in many different situations and protect user privacy. These would need to support a wide range of credentials, including those issued by the DHS. A digital wallet call Industry Day event will be held at August 18th to help vendors understand the requirements and how to apply. The EU is rolling out a massive project that focuses on user-controlled digital identity wallets that are privacy first, interoperable, and they're working on a system where government IDs, passports, health records, driver's license, etc. could all be stored in ID wallets. These could be built in a blockchain, but the tech is also possible without blockchain. But essentially what they're looking at is Web3 wallets, connected to government-issued soul-bound tokens and linked to payment systems. Again, could be crypto, but it's possible to do this without blockchain. There's currently a pilot underway with every single EU member country, as well as Iceland and Ukraine, to test this out with over 250 private companies and government organizations. They're testing out 11 different use cases. Accessing government services, opening a bank account, SIM registration, mobile driving license, signing contracts, claiming prescriptions, traveling, organizational digital identities, payments, education certification, and accessing Social Security benefits. If you want to see a list of the companies taking part, you can see right there. Decentralized and Homeland Security, now that's a paradox. The control in plain sight. Yeah. Dude, it's so wild, man. Like they're focusing on the next part of it. That's why all of the technology is rolling out the way that it is. JP Morgan says ex-First Lady of the U.S., Virgin Islands, helped Epstein traffic women. It's weird to see Epstein back on the news, is it not? Jeffrey Epstein paid college tuition for the kids of the former First Lady of the Virgin Islands, and she asked him for his input on the working of a sex offender law. JP Morgan. It's like they're sweeping all kinds of shit under the rug. The Army, top Army official blames anti-woke rhetoric of right for severe recruiting crisis. The Army official blames anti-woke rhetoric of the right for severe recruiting crisis. So it's like, I feel like those super woke motherfuckers on the left would be joining the army anyways, but what do I know? Right? Auckland surgeons must now consider ethnicity in prioritizing patients for operations. Some are not happy. This is crazy. This is crazy. They better consider a patient's ethnicity alongside other factors when deciding who should get an operation first. God damn. How about this? The Oscars. The Academy establishes representation and inclusion standards for Oscar eligibility. And look at some of this. The standard for on-screen representation, themes, and narratives. To achieve standard A, the film must meet one of the following criteria. At least one of the lead actors or significant supporting actors is from an underrepresented racial or ethnic group: Asian, Hispanic, Latino, Black, African American, Indigenous, Native American, Alaskan Native, Middle Eastern, North African, Native Hawaiian, Pacific Islander, or other underrepresented race or ethnicity. A general ensemble cast. At least 30% of all actors as secondary and more minor roles are from at least two of the following underrepresented groups: women, racial or ethnic group, LGBTQ, people with cognitive or physical disabilities who are deaf or hard of hearing. Main storyline subject matter. The main storyline, theme, or narrative of the film is centered on an underrepresented group: women, racial or ethnic group, LGBTQ, people with cognitive or physical disabilities who are deaf or hard of hearing. Oh my god, this is just crazy. You can see, it's like they go through all this, all the key roles, all of it. So, it's like they're forcing this shit on everybody. It's like I'm so sick of hearing about it too. I'm so sick of covering it, honestly. We've been showing this for quite a while now. Yeah. So, UFOs can enter Earth via wormholes in active volcanoes. Two spotted at Mexico's Popocatépetl. Unidentified anomalous phenomena have access to Earth through wormholes, some of which are present in active volcanoes. Let's see here. Glowing orbs erupt from Mexican volcano.
In a previous episode, we explored the phenomenon of UFO sightings near active volcanoes. In that instance, it was this volcano in Iceland. But the real hotspot for such sightings is over here in North America, just south of the Rio Grande. And this latest video caused an internet... But look closely. The light flies closer and closer to the camera, when suddenly it explodes into a glowing orb and climbs up into the atmosphere. Facing El Popo on a different day. What are these glowing orbs we're seeing at different times around the volcano?
I don't
and
know
are
if
they related?
Electromagnetic energy that's being
Patty
discharged. I don't know, man. I have such a hard time buying into the UFO shit.
And the other people say something about UFOs.
Like, I have a hard time.
In fact, Mexico is...
For real. It's like, I think... I just think it's bullshit. New digital world order has already come to Kazakhstan. Highly digitized society. The government has almost all information about its citizens. It's an 82% cashless economy, and the authorities strongly encourage the population to stop using cash, switch to digital transactions instead, and very people in the Central Asian nation use credit or debit cards when they go to grocery stores. Without a smartphone, life in Kazakhstan can be extremely difficult. It's like they're doing this everywhere. This is like coming to a theater near you, homie. You don't think so? But it is. Space seismic, intriguing correlation between earthquakes and cosmic radiation discovered. Once again, thinking about how HAARP and things heat up the ionosphere, right? Those heated gases, they create radiation with a lot of these weapons, space weapons, and there's a correlation between that and earthquakes. Many people believe they have earthquake machines. I'm one of those people who do believe they have that capability. So, just saying. Former president of the National Assembly in France, Richard Ferrand, calls for changing of the French Constitution to allow Macron a third presidential term. That's so crazy. Changing the Constitution to allow Macron a third term. I'm sure the people in France are fucking stoked, right? Holy cows, Health Canada calls for the end of capitalism. Says racism causes global warming. Racism causes global warming. Yeah. Sounds about right. Quebec University suspends professor skeptical of COVID vaccine again. Quebec City's Laval University has opted to suspend an immunology professor and mRNA scientist who's skeptical of COVID jabs for kids after he spoke with independent media during a prior suspension. As reported by Le Journal de Quebec, Dr. Patrick Provost will be suspended without pay for the week of June 24th to July 3rd. This is the fourth time Provost has been suspended by Laval University. And he's an immunology professor, an mRNA scientist. Just saying. So he's not like some regular ass cat. This guy knows his shit. Okay? He knows his shit. Oh man, they've got to. Joe Biden's message to Ukraine on NATO bid. Like I said, this is why you see the World War III shit really ramping up right now. Ukraine, Sweden, trying to get all these countries into NATO. America's latest inflation wave is all about corporations using excuses and cover to increase profits, says top UBS economist. And I think we all could agree with that. Corporations are getting very rich off of inflation. Did vaccine scientist thrown to his death have proof of Wuhan lab leak? Chinese military expert who filed patent for COVID vaccine barely a month into country's first lockdown died in mysterious circumstances, aged just 54. How about that? That's crazy, right? Chinese military scientist who was reportedly thrown to his death from the roof of a Wuhan institute is at the center of a mounting evidence that the COVID pandemic resulted from a lab leak. And it's like, just more of this shit, man. They're pushing this narrative hard right now. Those documents come out, now dude fucking tossed off a roof, if that's even true. right? It's like they're just pushing this big time. So, weather warfare. Storms knock out power to more than 100,000 across south of the U.S. with high winds and at least 8 reported tornadoes. Heavy damage, death, and injuries. And this is, people see really damning signatures, right, on the radars now. That looks like something is being artificially created to make a lot of these storms happen, matter of fact, I've got, TikTok videos and stuff that show a lot of this shit as well. So, many people have caught this stuff. Global cyber attacks like those currently hitting U.S. government agencies will have COVID-like characteristics. A global cyber attack has hit multiple U.S. government agencies. Federal officials said Thursday, joining a string of recent hacks that target a vulnerability in a widely used file transfer software. The Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency said in a statement is working urgently to understand impacts and ensure timely remediation. U.S. government agencies hit in global cyber attack. In one of its videos, the World Economic Forum has clearly announced that the coming global cyber attacks that they will launch personally will have COVID-like characteristics.
The COVID-19 pandemic has shaken our economies and societies to the core and shown us how vulnerable we are to biological threats. In the digital world, similar risks are being overlooked right now. A cyber attack with COVID-like characteristics would spread faster and further than any biological virus. Its reproductive rate would be around 10 times greater than what we've experienced with the coronavirus. To give you an idea, one of the fastest worms in history, the 2003 Slammer sapphire worm, doubled in size approximately every 8.5 seconds, infecting over 75,000 devices in 10 minutes and almost 11 million devices in 24 hours. Fortunately, at least until now, cyber attacks have not impacted our health the way pandemics have, but the economic damages, and therefore the impact they have had on our daily lives, have been equal and sometimes even greater. You see, the only way to stop the exponential propagation of a COVID-like cyber threat is to fully disconnect the millions of vulnerable devices from one another and from the internet. All of this in a matter of days. A single day without the internet would cost our economies more than $50 billion US, and that's before considering the economic and societal damages should these devices be linked to essential services such as transport or healthcare. As the digital realm increasingly merges with our physical world, the ripple effects of cyber attacks on our safety just keep on expanding at a faster pace than what we're preparing for. COVID-19 was known as an anticipated risk. So is the digital equivalent. Let's be better prepared for that one. The time is now.
Man, whenever they're putting shit out like that, I'm telling you, dude, it makes me think, like, damn, this is what's next. Cyber attack, COVID-like characteristics. It's coming right from the horse's mouth, too. So you can take that or leave it. If you see anything right now, with all of the AI, all of it. I mean, I've got a million fucking things on AI right now. AI reveals chemicals that could stop aging in its tracks. U.S. court strikes down Florida transgender health rule. Protection for troops booted over COVID vaccine mandates. Kill switch will make humanity less safe and could spawn... A kill switch could make humanity less safe and could spawn hostile super intelligence. AI Foundation. The company exec said AGI is potentially disobedient new life form we'll have to share the planet with. Executives behind the American Artificial Intelligence AI Foundation are cautioning against implementing kill switches in machine systems, arguing that such a move could increase the chances of a super intelligence that is hostile towards human civilization. So we don't want to put a kill switch in it in case it goes crazy. Right? What do we think? We're going to make it go crazy by putting a kill switch in it? That's so fucking weird. Why don't we have a kill switch in it? You know what I mean? It's like they're even saying fucking this thing can be hostile. This is so nuts, dude. For real. Protection for troops booted over the vaccine mandate. Added to the House Defense Bill. Yeah, about fucking time. We'll see how that pans out. Great, they're putting flamethrowers on robot dogs now. A company called Throw Flame is selling a robot dog that has a flamethrower strapped to its back, which can shoot terrifying 30-foot streams of fire. It's called the Thermominator, and it looks like a disaster waiting to happen if it were to fall into the wrong hands. This is fucking crazy, dude. Look, there's a Therminator, the fiery little flamethrower-wielding robot dog. If you don't think the police and all of that is going to have this shit, you got another thing coming. I'm just telling you. Pfizer, GSK, RSV shots for older adults may prevent thousands of hospitalizations. CDC says, well, if the CD says it has to be true, right? AI reveals chemicals that could stop aging in its tracks, harnessing AI to unlock the fountain of youth. Gene editing, fountain of youth. Moderna files for FDA approval of updated COVID vaccine for the fall. Moderna on Thursday submitted an application for FDA approval of the biotech company's updated COVID vaccine for the fall. Moderna said the submission is based on the FDA's recommendation last week that vaccine makers update their jabs to target Omicron subvariant XBB.1.5, the dominant strain of the virus nationwide. Moderna and rivals Pfizer and Novavax already began to develop versions of their vaccines targeting XBB.1.5 months before the FDA's recommendation. And of course they did. Of course they did. Increasing majority of Americans view sex as biological reality. New poll reveals 61% of Americans said defining gender as a sex listed on a person's original birth certificate is the only way to define male and female in society. Well, no fucking shit. You mean if you have a cock, you're a male, and if you don't, you're a female? That's fucking wild. Against backdrop of mental health care shortage, emergency room doctors are overwhelmed. I bet they are. People are going crazy. Shit's upside down, Shit's upside down. They're saying, sex isn't the way to even define your gender. Fauci says he's worried about the country's future because of disinformation. Well, you don't gotta worry. Twitter's complying to the EU's new rules and everything, right? We're going to hammer this out. We're not gonna let anybody talk outside of the fucking narrative ever again. We're gonna shut down anyone that thinks they can challenge the mainstream media and the government. Super fit mother of two, 37, is left in chronic pain, bound to a wheelchair, and forced to find a new home after COVID jab. Quote, "It's ruined my life." Yeah, that's fucked up, man. Fucked up, man. Technology pioneer believes artificial intelligence technology will revolutionize online dating. Hey, AI's matchmaking abilities will make online dating more efficient.
Cyber attacks on public infrastructure.
So you can actually spend less time online and more time meeting people. I'm down for that, because I think online dating is dog shit, So, who knows? Maybe AI is gonna, bring it all together for us. I hope so. And Donald Trump has a 2024 math problem. They're basically saying he's not going to win. Phemosys announces FDA approval of its IDE for the pivotal clinical trial of FemBlock, permanent birth control, non-surgical alternative for women. This is permanent birth control. This is, FemBlock. It's like the alternative to surgery. It's crazy. Poll reveals Americans' fears about AI. Everybody's scared shitless. AI techs aim to help patients catch disease early, even reverse their biological age. That's how they're going to paint it. And RFK Jr.'s campaign manager can't name a single vaccine he supports. This guy is getting wheels here. RFK Jr., man. I've seen him on Joe Rogan and everything. He's gaining ground. I think he's going to be a force to be reckoned with, just to keep it real. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this one up. I do appreciate each and every one of you guys for joining me. The master of disinformation. Yeah, that's right. Jamlo, Stool Purger, Kimberly F. Thank you guys so much. Hey, please, follow me, subscribe, Facebook, YouTube, DLive, Twitch, BitChute, Rumble, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, all of them. All the links are in the description. Please donate support to the channel. PayPal, Venmo, Cash App, Patreon, Facebook Messenger Pay. Book your own personal tarot reading. TheRealBestDamnPodcast@gmail.com or text 513-393-2396. Make sure to subscribe, follow, share the link, hit the like, leave a comment. Let me know what you think. Donate, support, all that good stuff. And yeah, man. Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate all of you. And I will see you next time. Y'all have a wonderful evening. Peace.